Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
"61. It's a good number in Yankees lore, and Story Route Zero just hit episode 61.
Fuck the Yankees.
With this group, I kind of expected that kind of grumbling and. I'm one of your hosts, Jason, and joining me is Moose and Michaela. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
Doing good, man. For a Monday, it's good.
Yeah, it's Monday.
I'm ready for Monday to be over.
It's Monday, yeah.
Get rid of Mondays.
Yep.
Monday after daylight savings time.
That can go fuck itself.
Yes.
Supposedly they're voting to keep it.
They are.
A bill was entered to stop the nonsense.
And I was
absolutely useless.
I think it was yesterday, but for sake of I was today's years old when I found out Arizona doesn't do it.
Yeah, there's some states. I think there might be more than one.
There is. I don't. Now, never mind. Actually, I think it is just Arizona. There are some spots that don't do it. Like
I know there's some countries that don't do it. Like this, U.S. is holding on though.
It's like, let's just, once it changes in the fall, we just don't go back. We just leave it and just go, I think that would be fine.
It has more significance when you're younger. And your parents are like, you get an extra hour to sleep. When you're an adult, it's like, tell my body that. It didn't get the memo.
Right. When your body's waking you up like Jeff does at like 6 o'clock or like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock. He's like, I'm up.
Versus when you're up during it and the clock's literally change in front of you. You're like, what the fuck?
It's not quite done yet, Mom. Back to gaming.
When that clock hits 2 o'clock, 1:59, 1. Wait, what?
Yeah.
How was everyone's weekend?
Could have been better, but it turned out really good. So
that's good.
Yeah, so I ordered a Chromebook last weekend, and it came Tuesday, and the trackpad was like trying to escape the laptop, so I returned it and ordered a new one, like a replacement. I was like, I'll just order a replacement. It was the left side on the first one. It was the right side on the second one. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to invest in a gaming laptop. So I took it back and returned it. Got some opinions, and I ordered a Acer Predator gaming laptop today, which comes in Wednesday. So it'll be in my possession then. So hopefully I'll be doing the podcast next Monday on my brand new laptop, which would be nice. 17-inch.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Acer's a solid brand.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of good reviews. Or it had a lot of good reviews because I think it's last year's model, which is not really that big of a deal to me. I just needed to do two things: play World of Warcraft while I want to play it, and then play indies, Steam indies. So, yeah.
Not more WoW. That's what this podcast needs. More WoW.
Already bought the expansion and started the sub. Let's go. I'm really, it's funny because my main pull to go back to it is classic, because I want to play classic again. And I talked to a buddy of mine that we used to play WoW a lot and haven't played games in a while. And I was like, man, you should jump in the classic with me. We can level a character together. And he's just like, I don't think I need to do that. He's like, it got bad. He had some dark days with WoW. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be your drug dealer. I think you're right. Just stay away from it. So, but yeah. So that was pretty much the weekend. But I was just upset. Not upset. I was just kind of pissed that like both of them were not, up to snuff. I'm like, man, I'm spending over $500 on a laptop. You think the build quality would be good. So, anyways, hopefully this one's all right. We'll see how it goes.
They ship Chromebooks kind of half-assed.
Well, not this one came in a box. It's got its own nice little box that it's in with some protection, and then it was in a bigger box with like the air, sealed air pouches.
It was broken before it was even put in the box then.
Probably. I mean, and it wasn't like it was blatantly like lifting up, but like how your trackpad's supposed to be like indented, like it was just bulging up past like the edge, and I was like, that's not right. I'm like, that should be that way. And then the same thing, like I said, happened on the second one. I'm like, that's it. Return it, and I'll just get a legit laptop. So that'll be nice.
Michaela?
What about you? Michaela? Like you didn't see the segment coming. Come on.
Pass. No. I'll go with the positives. Friday I signed the lease on that apartment, and today they countersigned, so it is officially a legally binding document. No takesies, backsies.
So it's officially you can't play Ratchet and Clank on launch day. Ha ha!
No, I cannot. I'll be sitting in a pile of boxes.
I told you. That's why you just got
to
put things in. You could play.
I've moved a few times. You just put.
Yeah, it's just going to be a question. Yeah, so I still have 2 phone calls to make. Like I already called National Grid, and I tried to call my insurance people today after work, but apparently they close at 4:30 instead of 5. Who the fuck closes at 4:30? But whatever. It's because I need to. The part of the condition of the lease is I just need to show proof of renter's insurance.
Sure.
So I need to change my address for June 10th, obviously, and that will obviously update the policy. But the other call I need to make that I haven't made yet, and I am putting off because their customer service is terrible, is Comcast. So it's a question of how difficult is it going to be to move my my Wi-Fi, my interwebs. I'm hoping it's not going to be a pain in the ass, but they're so hard to deal with. Their customer service is kind of terrible. Their service is great. Like I have great internet, and I can usually package it with cable, and it will make the better internet cheaper than the internet it is by itself. And I can watch football, which makes me happy. But their customer service is so bad. They spelled my name wrong. And my name is also my email address, so I couldn't log into my Comcast account because they spelled my email and my name wrong.
Did they spell it 2 different wrong ways, or was it at least spelled wrong both?
It was spelled wrong both ways, but because it was an invalid email address, I couldn't log into my Comcast account.
You're like, you dummies.
They spelled my name Michaela, basically. Which is not a name.
Oh, but there's a Michaela out there somewhere.
There's I have a friend named Marcella, and then there's a Michaela, and they just went with right down the middle. What?
So I do need to call Comcast, and if I can get my Wi-Fi set up, the night that I'm in there, like I will have no coffee table, no kitchen table. I will just have like a couch, a bed, and a bunch of boxes, and I'll be downloading FF7 Integrate.
2 boxes. One slightly larger box for the TV, so it's higher, and one slightly lower box to put the PlayStation 5 on.
But make sure that they're not too empty so that the TV collapses the box. on there. Make sure you got maybe pack a specific box full of like the books or something where it's like kind of full to the top. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Be like, this book box goes in the living room by the TV, guys.
But your bookcase is in your bedroom. It goes in the living room under the TV.
Listen, who runs this? Me or you? Am I paying you or are you paying me? Exactly. Do what I told you.
I did. We booked the movers too, so that's done.
Nice.
That's pretty much it for positive things that I can talk about. Everything else like mentioned, family health issue in the last episode has continued to get worse. Hopefully, we're through the very worst of it.
Hopefully.
So thoughts and prayers there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about for the weekend.
I got my first microchip injection. My PlayStation 5 speeds are up.
You can be tracked.
Steam's a little low, but I think I have to upgrade the Valve client or something. I don't know. They said something. Fuck Walgreens though. 10:45 appointment. They said get there 15 minutes early. I got there.
Yeah, they're 10:30, right?
But there's like only every 15 minutes. And to jump ahead, the shot took all of 30 seconds, maybe 45.
Right.
You're saying 15 minutes between. It wasn't like it was crowded. 11:40. Then an hour and 10 minutes later. Oh, can you fill out this paperwork? And then, we're so sorry about the delay.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
But yes, got that. Half that done. Arm was killing me though that night. Like, holy shit. Like, it was
so
like
much so, people, that he had a fever dream that Monster Hunter was a decent movie.
Hey, I watched it again, and it's not. I was gonna say it's the best video game movie, but that bar is really low. It's entertaining. I like Mila Jovovich. I've seen enough Resident Evil, and Tony Jaa, who's awesome stuntman. His action seems really cool, and I decided, you know what? I'm gonna give the game another try. So I downloaded it. I didn't start.
World?
Yeah,
Monster Hunter World.
I don't own, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually give it a try, like a fair shake this time. So I did download it. I did watch a really bad movie. This new Bruce Willis, Frank Grillo movie, Cosmic Sin. Holy shit. I think they forgot to tell Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo they were in a movie. This was bad. Like, I'm going to go revisit this. This was, like, the middle's missing. Like, the story. They kind of just jump to the end, and it's like, no, let's recreate the Armageddon magic. It's in space, like, maybe a big bomb, and yay. No. They're cheering at the end, and it's over. That's about it, though. We got news this morning that Aria's teachers were exposed to COVID, so virtual for a week. Yay! Fuck. My only question was, we got the text at like 9:30, and it's like, you could pick them up at 12:30. Why? Why not now? What? If they've been exposed, shouldn't it be now?
Yeah. Right.
Or they keep them for the week.
Yeah, there you go.
Exposed, but
wait, so you mean you're keeping the kids for the week? Because I can't pick them up at 12:30. You mean 12:30 a week from now, right?
No, I think the teachers were exposed Friday, and they found out, and the teacher who patient 0 was out of school. And I think
wasn't there that day.
The classes that had that teacher probably were told separately, but they just, all teachers were kind of.
Yeah.
But and then some adulting. We got a quote on the backyard. The landscape guy just wants me to win the Powerball to pay him. So that was fun.
It's always a good time.
Yeah, fun of owning a house.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk games.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I played Diablo 3 this week.
Ooh.
That's
TV.
different.
Well, so TV and I, well, Jason as well, are excited about the Diablo 2 Resurrected remake coming out. And so we've been planning to like play together. Well, he started like 3 weeks ago. And like every time I start a party, which he's part of the group to invite, never joins us. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Or he's always playing like Dark Souls 3. So like I messaged him or he messaged me. He's like, you need to start playing Diablo 3. I'm like, you need to start joining the parties when you get invites, and then I'll start playing it. Cause I'm not just gonna sit here and play it and then I'm level 30 and you start, your character's like whatever. And so we started playing from scratch, and that was fun. And then it was so much fun that I decided to try my main character in the game. I have a level 70 demon hunter with a glitched weapon, which is pretty crazy. Jason, the torment level is like to the max, and it's insane. It's like insanity. I'm like built like billions of like points and damage. That's how much I'm doing. It's crazy how much
Yeah,
it
it's like taking an Abrams tank into a Lemmings game.
yeah. Yeah, it's just like this. It's insane how spongy the enemies are, and so just been running that, and I was like, man, like it's taking forever for me to hit the next Paragon level. Like I think it's glitched, which I have no problem with. It's fine. And then like nope, I leveled up like after running greater rifts. Like I kept doing like in the greater rifts, you can like pick to outdo your previous best run and do the next level or the next two levels. And I kept doing that, and I got up to like level 89
Oh, nice.
and actually leveled a Paragon level. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. But having fun with it. We started season characters because you get a lot more stuff out of seasons.
Yeah.
I was new to it, like because I think that's all he's played. Or well, when he played the PC, he probably played the regular game. But like I've never played a seasons character
Yeah,
before.
you hit max, and so for Michaela, the season starts and you create a seasonal character. It's not tied to your game. Like you don't get your stash, you don't get anything, and you basically have to max level, and then there's like goals to complete, and the rewards are usually like there's a bunch of cosmetic. It's mostly cosmetic stuff, and then once
Yeah.
the season ends, it automatically converts your character to a regular character to use. But the seasons have like some insane buffs. Like
Yeah.
there's like usually like something like if you're standing still, you get like a 3,000% damage buff. But something so it's like it's a counter, so it's like, well, this is cool. And then people figure out like different like oh, if you play this class, you could just stand still, not take damage, and just destroy everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the buff for this season was 2 loot goblins. So if it's
Oh,
loot goblin spawns, you get a second one. So, anyways, we've been playing that, and we're like coasting through, and we're not even in the final act, and we're both like almost level 50. Like it's insane. So, because I think I remember in the first game when I first played it, I beat the game and had to roll right back because they didn't have adventure mode at the time. So I had to roll back through the beginning of the story and start playing the acts again. And I think I got into like the third act when I finally hit level 70. But
well, yeah,
um,
because we both when we first played it, you had to beat the game on normal to unlock hell. You had to beat the
yeah,
game on hell to get nightmare. You had to beat the game on nightmare to get inferno. They've changed it now to just you can jack up the torment and there's no difficulty, like base difficulty.
yeah, yeah.
Because when I platinumed it, you had to beat the game 4 times and it was like,
Ugh. I would have screamed. So, playing a lot of that. Dark Souls 3, helping Razzie with his platinum. And then Breakpoint, a little bit more of that, and that's actually kind of it. I did play my backlog game, some, enjoying that, but other than that, I haven't really been
It
playing
changed,
anything.
right? What's your game?
It's Cthulhu Saves Christmas.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I have that on Switch, so I've been playing that. I wanted to start it early, not early last week. I want to start it last week when I was in the office playing at lunch during lunch breaks, but I forgot I bought an SD card that had issues, and I sent it back, and I just haven't re-downloaded like all the games I had on my Switch, and so I'm like, oh, if I download this from my hotspot on my phone, it's going to take all day. So I was just like, I'll just wait till I get home and do it. So I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. So
Michaela?
Jason.
I'll be quick. So was it the day after our last recording session?
Tuesday.
I platinumed Persona 5 Strikers.
I think you have the most or second most platinums in the show this year.
I might. I'm still tempted to go for the East one. We'll see what kind of time I have.
Because I only have one this year.
One of mine's kind of cheap though.
I've
The
won
Neo
two.
2 one on PS5. I didn't have to do the whole thing.
Okay, but you have
Doesn't matter.
What do you have the Persona 5 Strikers, and don't you have the don't you have another one?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the app. I don't remember. I played a lot of stuff.
PSN profiles.
I'll look.
Switch
Keep
it.
talking.
Yeah.
I think it might just be 2 this year.
Then you have
Hold on.
one more. Well, Matt might have a bunch of platinum.
Yeah, Matt might have a bunch.
You have the most.
Yeah. I keep my platinums on my phone because I'm old. Yeah, no, the last ones I had were in December.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So only 2 so far this year.
Okay.
But I want to go for the East 9 Platinum, but that would be, it depends on how much time I have after backlog game and before Nier Automata, which is a little over a month from now. It's 5 weeks from now. I haven't started my backlog game yet because I did start a new game this weekend in Bravely Default 2, and I didn't have the mental wherewithal to start 2 games in the same weekend because you got to learn 2 games and go through the tutorials for 2 games. I was not mentally with it enough to do that because I didn't do a lot of gaming in the middle of the week last week, so I didn't start Bravely till Friday. Yeah. But I am like about 10 hours into Bravely, and I am enjoying it. I don't think it's going to turn into like a must-have like JRPG for most people, but for like serious JRPG fans, it's definitely something to pick up if you have a Switch. I don't think it will crack my top 3 Switch exclusives, which are Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Octopath Traveler, and Xenoblade 2. But it's still early. I'm only 10 hours into the game. I've been playing it mostly docked because this thing is fucking gorgeous and it deserves to be docked with the higher resolution. It is so pretty. Going into it, I wasn't thrilled by like the more chibi looking character like designs. But it's not actually phasing me because the color palette and the lighting is so pretty in this game, and there's hand-drawn environments that are just absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like the inverse of Octopath in terms of 2.5D, because in Octopath the environments are kind of 3D and the characters are 2D, but here with Bravely it's the more traditional where the characters are 3D and the environments are 2D, and they're just like these hand-drawn masterpieces that are just beautiful things to look at. And so basically I took like a little while to just get over the fact, hey, this game is really pretty. The voice acting can be a little hit or miss for me. I've been going with the English so far, and you always run a risk with English voice acting in JRPGs, especially when they like do like the English thing where it's a lot of like different English and Gallic accents and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's decent. The story. So when I started, so I kind of went into this pretty blind. I didn't play the first Bravely. I don't know if you guys know anything about it.
Very, very little. Might as well.
I did not play the first Bravely or its sequel because I didn't have a DS. And I really don't know much about it other than what the Bravely default system is that the games are named for. Because basically my knowledge of this game comes from my knowledge of Octopath Traveler, which has a similar combat system, but not the same. So you guys know Octopath, where if you strike enemy weaknesses, you can break them, and you can build up boost points so that if you like tap like R, the bumper or whatever, you can spend boost points in a turn to charge up your attacks. In Bravely default games, you have 2 modes that you can use instead of attacking or using spells or items on a turn, which are Bravely and default. Bravely is like your boost mode where you're adding like turns to your turn, and default is where you're banking them for future turns essentially. So you can risk it all and use up 4 turns when you only have 1, if you think you can take out everything so that you don't get stuck with no turn for a while. Or you can just play it safe and bank turns and give your enemies a chance to attack you as a risk reward system. I don't find it quite as satisfying as Octopath's because striking enemy weaknesses does extra damage, but you don't break them, so you don't like cause them to lose turns or anything quite as tangible as that. You just do extra damage for using the right element or weapon for striking an enemy's weakness. But the Bravely and default systems itself are pretty decent to play with. It's not as satisfying as Boost and Break and Octopath for me. But it's a traditional JRPG, and the thing that really gets me is the fact that I didn't know how much of a Final Fantasy spin-off these games are. Because what I didn't realize till I looked it up, because I started playing this game and I was like, wait a minute. You motherfuckers, what did you do? Then I looked it up. The first Bravely Default was actually originally going to be developed as a sequel to a game called Final Fantasy: The Heroes of Light or whatever. And then it kind of got its own identity and became its own franchise, but it kept a lot of the Final Fantasy in there. So like the whole plot is like an old school. We're talking like the first couple, like 1 and 2 FFs, where there's 4 crystals of light, and there's the 4 heroes of light, aka the warriors of light, and you have to go and get the 4 crystals, which is literally the plot of like the first 2 FF games. And then I started fighting and stuff, and the monster names, like I saw a plant one and it was named Ochu, and I was like, excuse me, never have I fucking ever seen anything ever called an Ochu outside of like FF10. And that's when I went to Wikipedia and I was like, okay, this was originally, the franchise was conceived as a spin-off of Final Fantasy. So it is very much, if you like FF1 through 6, and that's like your go-to, it's basically that in 3D, with the Bravely Default system.
If I'm mailing you my DS so you could play Bravely Default 1 now?
I don't know if I love it that much yet. Let's see. I'm only at the 10-hour mark. Maybe we'll get there. I'm not that committed yet, because these are decently long games. Like I've played for 10 hours. I'm in chapter 1 because the prologue took me 5 hours, because it's traditional in the old school FF sense as well, that it's a fairly grindy JRPG. A lot of the modern JRPGs that we're playing now, like Dragon Quest XI or even Octopath, if you kill everything as you go, you'll be sufficiently leveled. This is old school. You need to do some moderate grinding as you go, or you're gonna get fucking spanked. Like even enemies. So this isn't random encounters. That's one of the few ways it's not very traditional. You can see enemies in the environment, and if you hit them from behind or you attack them, you get an advantage in battle. Stuff like that. Even the ones, so if they're lower than your level, they'll run away from you. If they're higher than your level, they'll chase you. Even the ones that run away from you will do it decent. Like will give you like a decent challenge. They just won't yield much XP. So it's gonna be a fairly grindy JRPG. I've looked it up. It'll probably take me a good 65 hours to get through the shit. There's also a healthy dollop of side quests. So
Side quest.
I feel like
some of them are better than
the
others.
majority of your games are around 65 to 70 hours.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
your own fault.
Strikers and East 9 were both about 45 hours.
But if you go for the platinum in East,
Okay, yeah, but so that's if you go for the platinum.
I said the majority. So she comes back with, it was about 45.
Yeah, the last two I played were like
It was only
45.
15 hours less than that, Jason. Only 15 hours less.
I am doing a much less
think-
aggressive
I think-
pace, though.
I think of the 7 games I've reviewed this year, I don't think I totaled 65 hours in all of them, and they're done.
I've only played one game so far that actually took me 65 hours this year, and that was FF12.
Only March.
It's only March. I did end up spending 65 hours in Strikers, but that's only because I went for the platinum, and that bond meter can suck a butt, as we all know. But yeah, there is no platinum in Bravely. It'll just be a question of how many side quests do I end up doing, because some people are like raving about the side quests, and so far I'm like, these are pretty standard. Like, go get a thing, go talk to a person, sometimes get a cutscene, and then get an item or some money. It's pretty standard. I don't know why some people are raving about the side quests, but maybe they get better. I'm only in chapter 1, so what do I know? The one thing that was interesting is that the protagonist, Loki, sort of might have died, and that's how he ended up in the game. I don't know, the wind crystal talked to him and said he died. He's like, I died? It's like, you died. It's like, interesting.
I mean, if the wind crystal said it, it's got to be true.
If the wind crystal is talking to you, you're probably high as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone that route too, but yeah.
It started out like Kingdom Hearts 2. He was floating in the water. I was like,
Are you just going to steal everything, guys?
I was low-key waiting for Simple and Clean to start playing. The music is also very classic. Like when the battle, like when you start an encounter, it sounds like the old school like FF1 and 2 music. It's a lot of FF1 and 2 feels for me. The GBA remaster versions, at least, which were my first Final Fantasies. Fun fact. Also, my FF12 episode comes out, I think, this Thursday for RPG University.
Nice.
But yes, I only played 2 games this week, and it was mostly grinding and grinding. Either grinding for a trophy or grinding in Bravely.
Jason?
I'll start mine off with a half fuck you, Moose. But we rectified it, so it's fine. So Moose linked to me the new 8-Bit Do 2 SN controller.
That thing looks good.
I literally purchased the 8-Bit Do SN.
Yeah.
Not even March 8th. 6 days. Luckily, I was still in my refund period, so I'm going to ship that back tomorrow, and I will wait till April 12th.
Yeah.
This new one has an app that you can. The controller has 2 extra buttons, 2 back buttons, and an app where you can reprogram any button to whatever you want, regardless of the game.
But I don't think it doesn't cost more. I think it costs the same.
It costs less.
I thought they were both $50-ish.
No, this one's $44.99, and it was like $49.99 when I bought the first one.
But the fact that this controller is $50 and the Pro is still a liver and $50 is incredible.
You can get the Pro on sale a lot, though.
This is always like you can get this on sale for $40 normally. Like it's on sale a lot. And 8-Bit Do, I have I think 3 of them now.
Yeah,
that's my problem. I can't justify buying another one because I have no use for it. I already have
the SNES style, that one, but I feel like playing PlayStation a lot, and any PC game I use my Xbox 360. I need the grips in a sense.
Yeah.
So the Super Nintendo, it works well for like certain games, but I'm so
Like if
used.
you're doing like 2 buttons, 3 buttons.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
weird. It's just like
Yeah.
It's good for old school. Like I was using my SNES one for Bravely because it's a turn-based.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I might
Right.
actually use my SNES one for PC when the new one comes in.
If I ever get a gaming PC or gaming laptop, more likely, I would justify another 8-bit do.
Oh hell yeah! I sat.
It would
there.
just be for the PC.
I sat there and I looked at it. I don't know how I saw it. I guess on Instagram on my phone, and I was like, wait a second, because it showed the Instagram picture showed a picture of the person holding the controller, and then they had a phone that they were like reaching over and messing with buttons. I'm like, wait a second, and they're like introducing the dinner, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Like Jason just bought one, and now they released one that has back paddles. And so for those who don't know that are listening, the regular Pro Plus controller, you have to hook it up to your laptop to set your buttons and set whether you want to turn turbo on or not. And you can't unprogram that until you plug it into your laptop and change your settings. So it's nice that the app allows you to do it on the fly. Because like games like Animal Crossing, when I have to dig and stuff like that, it's nice to have the turbo button. But I like the turbo button replaces your capture button on the Switch when you're using it. So that's how you turn on the turbo. You basically hold down the button you want to turn on that has turbo set, and then hold the turbo button, and it's on. But like you can't take pictures or anything. So it'd be nice when I'm playing and I'm like going from Animal Crossing, which doesn't really happen that much anymore, or a game that uses turbo, to like Legend of Zelda, I can turn the turbo off on the fly without having to go get my laptop, plug it in, start the software, shut down the turbo, unplug it, and go back and resync it with the Switch. I can just turn it off on my app as I go. So
Plus,
that
it does the back buttons, so you can make a back button turbo and just leave that as like it's an extra button that won't take the place of normal buttons.
Well, what I was also saying is like to turn off the fact that the capture button is the turbo button, like to turn on turbo, so that I can start taking pictures inside of. So like when I take pictures now in Zelda, if I'm playing with my 8-bit new controller, I get up and hit the capture button on the Switch that's in the dock. Like, that's what I have to do. I'm like, this is really bad.
Back in my day, I had to get up and walk to the TV to capture something.
Now, if only they could get the start button on the 8-bit do to also wake up the console, so you don't have to get up and walk over to the TV. You can achieve ultimate couch laziness.
Or you could just achieve like ultimate getting rid of the Pro controller. Like I wouldn't even. I
do like the Pro controller though.
I'm no smack. Like I'm not. I like the Pro controller too, but like trying to go back to it because I had to use it one time while I had to charge the 8-bit do controller, and it was just like, this is weird. This feels really weird. Does not feel right. I don't know, but anyways, yeah, it's a cool controller.
The Pro controller does the one thing that the Pro controller beats any other controller for me, because it's not my favorite controller. My favorite controller is now the DualSense. The one thing that it beats every other controller in terms of the category is battery life.
Oh yeah,
something that doesn't use like exchanged batteries like a Microsoft. I brought that thing to my parents one time when I was dog sitting, and I was out of my element, so I wasn't thinking. I forgot to plug it in for days, and the damn thing still worked.
I think you can go weeks.
Yeah, it's
depending
insane.
on what your use is.
Yeah, well, I was playing a lot of Fire Emblem at the time. It was when Fire Emblem came out, so I don't think I could have gone weeks without charging, but
close.
Yeah,
I do like how the 8-bit do controller also has like the rechargeable battery pack that you could pop out and put AA's in if you need to or want to. So that's always nice.
8-bit is great.
Yeah, I highly recommend their controller. I had the Super Famicom. I had the Plus edition, so that's basically without the handle parts.
Yeah,
the grip parts, and then it has the analog sticks, and I use that to play Legend of Zelda. And then I was like, "Ooh, I want the new one, the Pro Plus for the grips, and then also the turbo buttons." But it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see how it reviews. So
Wolf Den's gonna love it. That's like his
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
controller.
did you see he put Tenet on 4 Game Boy Advance cartridges? Yeah.
Oh.
He was like, because like Christopher Nolan was like saying how like you need to experience the movie in theaters, and he was just like, I'm just gonna put on Game Boy Advance cartridges. He had to do 5 because that's how long it is. I saw the article and it was like somebody in the community put Tenet on Game Boy Advance cartridges, and I started reading the article, and it's like Wolf from Wolf. I'm like, of course it would be him. Of course he would do it. Yeah, I that's his favorite control. I mean, I don't think I found one person that doesn't like 8-bit do stuff. So I highly recommend. I can't recommend their third-party controllers enough. If you're sitting there and going like, I want more functionality and not spend an arm and a leg, you know what I mean, to get a pro controller when it's not on sale. Just
Beats
depending
the
on
shit
when
out of Power A for sure.
Yeah, it's
And Ori.
definitely they're definitely quality controllers. And then you could use it on your Switch, phone,
Everything
computer,
but PlayStation.
even your PlayStation. If you just buy like I think the $20 dongle if you want it to. Like it's very versatile for like what you're getting. So, anyways, Jason.
So I played some of Curse of the Dead Gods on Switch.
How are you liking it?
I like it. I really enjoyed it on PC. It's a good port.
Okay.
Enjoyable. I will say, and this is the first time, it's better on the TV because a lot of the font is actually really small. And
these developers don't realize that they're like the demographic of gamers are getting older.
But it's not
just accessibility in general.
The font is all on TV too. Like, I mean, the TV just kind of magnifies it because if you're obviously playing on a bigger screen than the Switch, but it's like, and I mean,
instead of Jason sitting there with the binoculars, he could put them down and just look at the screen.
I had LASIK vision, and it's still like, what the hell? Luckily, I played like 20 hours on PC, so I kind of know, and I could skip it. But I was looking at it, I'm like, tons more Loop Hero. The game is very addicting. Like, it's to the point where I could start the game and actually walk away just out of curiosity to see what my character does in the loops and see what loot you pick up. And it's such a great game. And I can't wait till you try it, Moose, when you get your PC.
Yeah, I got a lot of things to try. WoW's gonna be the first thing that fires up, though.
More WoW.
It's only a matter of time, Michaela.
No, absolutely not. That is not happening.
Because as customary, I just do it without realizing. I go on Twitch, I redeem all my Twitch Prime gaming rewards, and then I realize, like, I've redeemed a lot of Destiny 2 shit. I'm just curious. So I just loaded in, which, by the way, on PlayStation 5, it loads super quick. Holy shit.
Nice.
Wow. I actually had not enough inventory space. Like, it said your bags are full.
Wow.
I don't know what to dismantle or use or just I'm done. Maybe I'll go back, but I got my fill. I beat the story,
which wasn't really that great of a story.
No, I mean it wasn't bad. It was just I played through the campaign. I got my money's worth.
Although, did you buy that or Jeff?
I bought it before it went. Oh no! Or Jeff bought it and I bought Forsaken. One of us bought it and one of us bought the expansion.
Okay. All right.
Played a little of my backlog game, Hitman. I will say on PS5, like Destiny, loads very like when you hit replay, like you're back in right away, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm reviewing a game, or Maybe I'm reviewing a therapy session because this game is every spider hater's dream game. Kill it with fire.
Nice.
You're basically given anything you can possibly think of in the household and you don't have to keep the house. It's like that meme where it's like someone sees the spider and then the next picture is the house on fire. It's that. You're not trying to save your house. You are getting rid of the spider. You get hairspray with a lighter. You get Molotovs. You get a weed whacker, a shotgun, clipboard, frying pan, revolver, pretty much anything you can think of. And you just go through the levels. It looks like Surgeon Simulator, that like cartoony,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just. But what gets me is, and it's not dark or anything. Everything's well lit. The music playing sounds like the what the movie Us. Is it Us? The second one he made, Jordan Peele, the creepy one where they replace the sequel to Get Out. Or not the sequel, but the quasi. Jordan Peele made the horror movies.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's that creepy like music, like with the piano chord. Like you're near a spider and you start hearing it. You're like, and even cartoony, and it's just like, nope, flamethrower. Not dealing with that shit.
How big are the spiders?
They're tiny. We're not talking mutated spiders. They're just like little
spiders.
We're not talking like huntsman spiders you see in Australia, those pictures when people are like, look what I found. No,
dude, I had a rabid wolf spider in my apartment.
Yeah, that's probably about as big as they get.
Okay.
You just pick shit up like books, inspect them, toss them, everything is broken. So that's that's been a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I think that's about it. Yeah. Yep. As far as we had a slow news week.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft officially, their purchase was made official of ZeniMax or Bethesda, and then a day later, everything pretty much was on Game Pass.
Like, is it already available now? Yeah. Okay.
It's like 20 games or something.
Yeah, a buddy of mine who has Game Pass took a picture. Like, you log into Game Pass, it's like, if you don't like Bethesda games, you're fucked because it's right there on the front page. You kind of have to scroll through 20 titles to get out of that shit. And then it was rumored and confirmed Outriders day one on Game Pass.
Not bad. But that's only a console and Android.
Yes, it's only console. It's console only because apparently there's I don't know if it's an issue with the whole demo carries over with Steam and Epic, that maybe they didn't want like something they couldn't program. I don't know, but it's console and phone only.
I feel like they could have put it on the Game Pass for PC and just been like,
you don't get progress.
You just don't get your progress copied over, or you don't play the demo. You don't get the demo, but you get the game.
Or it could have been a weird. They couldn't come to an agreement on the maybe I don't know how much money these developers get for giving their games to Game Pass, but maybe they couldn't reach an agreement and they're like, okay, we're only going to do console. You never know. There's weird shit that happens.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure eventually it'll be on. Well, it could have been a whole thing because they said you're entitled to a refund. Had you pre-ordered too? So maybe it was something with
that could be it. They don't have control over the refunds outside of their own storefront digitally.
That's a good point.
I don't know how Steam refunds work with pre-orders. I know how they work with when you. I would guess it'd be similar. Like it looks. Oh, you haven't played, refund. But I know the Steam version and the Epic version were separate because they said no cross-play or cross-save or whatever. but because I think there's crossplay. Because I don't know if you noticed, Moose, when we played. You probably didn't notice because we just played, but there's a controller icon. It's the PlayStation one. So I guess when you're with other people, it's a different. It's like a
controller icon. Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, we have the Square event on
Thursday. I don't think that's going to be much. So, like, it's what Square Enix Presents is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
And it's mostly Western Square Enix games that are already announced. The one thing I'm excited for, like, the only thing I think that I can get excited for, because I don't, like, expect anything Final Fantasy or anything like that. I am a big Tomb Raider fan, though. So I'm curious to see, because they have Tomb Raider 25th anniversary in there. And around the actual anniversary, they were talking about how they're working on something that's going to connect the spirit of the classic Tomb Raiders with the story that they developed in the reboot trilogy. So I'm curious if we'll get information about where Tomb Raider is going next. Otherwise, it's
cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just going to be like promotional stuff for like Outriders. That's coming out shortly out. Yeah,
kind of
Balan
stuff we already know
Wonderlands.
about.
Yeah, which is releasing, and they're basically already apologized. They're like, we got your feedback from the demo at Balan Wonderland, and basically we're not going to fix everything that people hate about it, so we're sorry for releasing this game.
Wow.
Not exactly what they said, but that's
roundabout way.
Well,
Yeah.
did you see Nibble? Is it that? I don't even know how to pronounce his tweet about that demo made me think I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like he hated it.
He hated it. It's like, it looks like a kid's game to me. It looks like a little kid's game, and it's probably fine if you're 6 years old. If you're not 6 years old, it's probably not fine.
I wonder if we'll see a tease. I doubt it, but that Square Enix game that was announced at the PlayStation Direct last year. Remember the? You don't think so?
Are you talking about Project Athea?
Right, because
Absolutely not.
Because when it was first announced, we had no name, but now we have a name on it, but nothing further.
Well, Project Athea was announced at that thing in June as Project Athea. So like I said, this looks like it's mostly just Western Square Enix.
Okay.
And that is, so Project Athea is Luminous Studios, which are the people who are using the Luminous engine, which is Square Enix's proprietary engine, which I guess they kept because they're like, we paid for this to make FF15, and that went so well. So let's devote a studio to it. And then the head of the studio left. And then 2 years later, we're like, hey, this thing still exists. And they're like, oh yeah, Project Athea. So that'll come out when I'm 50. But no, I do not think that will show up here. Because again, I don't think there's going to be anything from the Eastern side at all. Although later this year, I would expect, I mean, pandemic aside, we're due for like an update on certain things, like maybe Project Athea. Obviously, we know that they said we'd get an update on FF16 in the first half of 2021. I just don't think it's going to be this week, but they did say first half 2021 FF16 news. But something we haven't heard anything about since August 2019, total radio silence, Tokyo RPG Factory. They're due.
Oninaki was the last game, or?
Yeah, and that released in August of 2019. And they were going like every 18 months or so with a game. So obviously the pandemic probably threw a wrench in that because
yeah.
Oninaki was August 2019. Lost Sphere was January 2018. Like they were pretty much a year and a half apart for their three games.
Life is Strange, the new.
Oh yes, they are announcing that.
The protagonist was teased, and I think that's probably gonna be the.
Yeah, the protagonist. Yeah, they said they said we're announcing the new Life is Strange game, which again, Western Square Enix doesn't really do it for me. My roommate was a big fan of the first Life is Strange and Before the Storm. She didn't love Life is Strange 2. She played it, but she didn't fall in love with it.
Didn't they change actresses because of wasn't there the voice actor strike for the second game, and one of the episodes or two of them there was a different actress?
When you say the second game, do you mean Life is Strange 2 or Before the Storm?
Before the Storm. One of the games there was it was during that strike, and I feel like they changed voice actresses or
Don't
something.
remember.
don't know
I
the
do
company.
remember that one of the voice actresses is Ashley Birch.
Yes, I knew that.
I don't remember who the other one is.
I think Ashley Birch is in the first and the second game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we'll see. Another event Wednesday, Techland there's a Dying Light 2. Supposedly they're gonna have a release date, and they actually came out and said that they announced the game too early. They apologized.
Techland has had like a lot of there's been a lot of rumors about issues over there with the management.
Yeah.
The game was definitely announced very early because obviously it disappeared for what, like 2 years.
They announced it, and then they gave us like a year's worth of DLC for the first game. It's like
Yep. Also, remember not that long ago, within the this year, I want to say, so within the past couple months, the image of like the collector's edition for Dying Light 2 was leaked, and the game is close-ish if they're putting together marketing materials for it like that. So within the year, I would say it's realistic that they're going to announce it for like a fall game or something. I never played Dying Light, but the one thing I'm excited for is Oliver Derivier is the guy doing the soundtrack, and he did the music for Greedfall and A Plague Tale: Innocence. So I love his stuff. Not that that has anything to do with how good the game's going to be, but I'll take the music.
Speaking of game anniversaries, which there's a lot in like a couple months. Happy 26th birthday to Chrono Trigger the other day.
Classic.
That's a classic. Yeah, we got Chrono Trigger, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Mario, Zelda. They're all like right
Pokemon.
there.
You know what had an anniversary a couple days ago? Final Fantasy X-2.
Fucking nerd.
I fucking love that game. It's so trash, and I love it.
Just saying
It's like a terrible fucking game, and I fucking love it. It's a great fan service game.
Yeah, but I think that's about it. There's not much. Yeah, like we said, it was a slower week. The other reveal for Wednesday is Doom's Ancient Gods Part 2. They teased the DLC, so we're gonna see more of that. I still haven't played Part 1, but
next Sunday there is a PlayStation Japan event where we know they're showing FF7 and I'm blanking on the other game. Resident Evil 8, I think, on Sunday, and it's a Japanese stream, but I know like some people are gonna be translating it. I forget what's her name. There's a girl who translates all the FF7 stuff on Twitter, and she'll be translating the event live for Final Fantasy and probably Resident Evil as well. I think it's RE8. That's in it too on Sunday.
And they announced the size of Final Fantasy VIII. It's 50 gigabytes only.
Huh? What?
The size of the game is 50 gigabytes.
7.
8. The new game.
8? Wait.
Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil.
You said Final Fantasy 8.
Oh,
I'm so confused.
Resident Evil Village.
You basically that gif of like Claire Dane doing math was just playing on my video cam.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 8.
It's like Final Fantasy 8's a 50
Resident Evil.
game?
Damn it. Resident Evil 8 going to be only 50 gigabytes. I can't believe it's like people are like it's like 50.
Well, is that the one where it's smaller on PlayStation than on Xbox? There's one that was recently talked about, like an upcoming game that's smaller on PlayStation than Xbox because of the PS5's ability to condense files better.
I think that was it.
That
has to be it, because I remember hearing that about games talking about that because of the fact that the PS5 is like way better with compression. But Zack Snyder's Justice League cut comes out on Thursday, and it's getting some good reviews. I'm kind of excited to see it. I think Josh Whedon bastardized it, so looking forward to seeing.
I watched it when it was in theaters.
I'm more excited for Friday for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That looks cool.
Yeah, that does look cool. I didn't watch I figured it would be cool to see them in a show, so, with their interactions in the movies, but I've not seen the trailer yet. I've seen bits and pieces. But I haven't watched it.
Said it's about a 6-hour movie is what it equates to. There's 6 episodes, so that's what you can look forward to. It's not like a
they did say it's a 6-part
movie
limited series or whatever the hell you call that.
I think it's like 45 to 50-minute episodes.
Jesus. Well, that kind of would be like 12, 20-minute ones like Wanda. Wanda was like, what, 20-some minutes, maybe 30 at max sometimes?
It's more of just a long action movie, which I'm excited for. So, but I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Moose?
Bye.
Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fun culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMaud. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.